So hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to show you how to do MRCP on Brevo MR355 1.5 Tesla G. So first of all, you have to set the position of the patient in. This is inbuilt body, inbuilt table coil. So I am placing the position in 3-4 body array coil. So you have to set the angulation of the patient. From here, you can assume the diaphragm is over here. From diaphragm up to iliac bone, you have to cover in this 3-4 body array. Now you have to place the respiratory trigger. You have to place the respiratory trigger on this diaphragm. Okay. You should not place the respiratory trigger on stomach because heart is over here. So this will calculate your respiratory movement. So you have to place this respiratory trigger on diaphragm of the patient. So now we will fix the respiratory trigger, and after you have to place the anterior body array coil. Then you have to switch on to your console. So now we are fixing the respiratory trigger over the diaphragm. You can check, here is the diaphragm area. Okay. Then you have to check over here in the system. This is respiratory going up and down, up and down. Okay, this is respiratory indication over the system. Now after fixing the respiratory trigger, you have to place a body array coil anteriorly. So this is how you have to place the body array coil over the anterior portion of stomach. Now we will fix it. Now you have to center. Now you have to give the position. You have to center the area of scan. This is the indicator light. Light on kar. And you have to give this emergency alarm to the patient. If they are having any problem, they will click that. Now we will move towards the console. So now we are on the entry desk. First of all, we have to fill the data of the patient. Description is MRCP. From here, you have to select the protocol. Click on abdomen. Here is my protocol, MRCP Magnum. Enter. Accept. First of all, we have to take treatment localizer. Before scanning, always take a history of the patient. And you should know anatomy of MRCP. Here you can check. Express body array coil has been connected. Body array 3-4. I have shown the positioning. So first of all, we will take treatment localizer. Save. Scan. In MRCP, we are diagnosing CBD, pancreatic duct, gallbladder, cystic duct. Okay. Patient should be NBM over the night for the better resolution. Here just I am doing for the test purpose. So that's why patient is not NBM over here. I will relocalize. You have to cover only this lever area. Now I will relocalize. Sometimes there is no need to relocalize. You can scan on this scanner also. After getting the treatment localizer, what you have to do for a better planning, we have to run a 2D Fiesta. This is fast sequence. We will get this sequence only in a 10 to 20 seconds. So that's why for better positioning and better planning, we will run treatment localizer. Then after we will run a 2D Fiesta. Now we have to calibrate this second localizer, body error 3-4. Now first of all I will plan axial 2D Fiesta. We will need axial 2D Fiesta and coronal 2D Fiesta for planning. So first of all I will plan axial Fiesta. Anatomy of the CBD will be, here is the lever, from here CBD comes out and drains over here in the bowels. In this localizer I am not able to see the CBD, but I will now take a 2D Fiesta for better localizing and for a better plan. So you have to cover this lever area. Thickness is 5 and spacing is 0. This is breath hold sequence. Okay, from here you can take breath hold. Ask the patient to hold the breath. But at present I am just localizing the images, so I am not asking the patient to hold the breath. From here you have to start the respiratory gating. Okay, now you have to start from this waveform. You can see the respiratory gating. Patient is at 20, resp is 20. So this is a good sign for a better images. First of all I will taking 2D Fiesta. I am not asking patient to breath hold. You can do it with a breath hold also. Save RX, scan. Same I will plan a coronal 2D Fiesta. Instead of planning over a localizer, I am taking a 2D Fiesta to plan another sequences. I will click on the coronal 2D Fiesta. So again 5 mm thickness, 0.4 spacing. You have to cover anterior to posterior whole of the lever. This is also breath hold, but I am removing the intervals and doing 0. It will take continuously without a holding breath. So this is axial. I will click on the axial box and enter a axial 2D Fiesta. Okay. Anterior to posterior you have to simply cover. This is just planning sequences. If sometimes patient is not taking a proper breath, at that time you can use this 2D Fiesta sequence, but at that time you have to run this sequence with breath hold, okay, for a better resolution. Here you can see without breath hold my images are very good over here. You can see this. So this is coronal. I will show you the anatomy over here in axials. Now see over here. So this is CBD over here. This is gallbladder. CBD is draining over here. Okay. So this much area you have to cover. Overnight fasting is very much necessary for a better resolution. Now, first of all, I will plan 3D sequence for CBD, pancreatic duct, gallbladder, cystic duct. Okay, so you have to click on this 3D respiratory asset. You have to plan 3D on axials. Enter over here. So now you have to localize on axial. You have to zoom. You have to simply cover gallbladder and pancreatic area. There is no need to cover this vertebra. So you can reduce the slices. CBD is draining over here in this bowel, so this much area you have to cover, including this gallbladder. Here is the gallbladder, and you have to angulate covering this tail of pancreas, because pancreatic duct is ending over here. So you have to angulate this. This will cover gallbladder, CBD, pancreas as well as the pancreatic duct. Now you can check, this is CBD draining over here in this bowel. So I will increase some of the. First of all, you have to set your FOV with a true coronal plane. Okay, I will set my FOV over here. Then you have to angulate on axials. This is the angulation for 3D MRCP. You need to cover a tail of pancreas, because cystic duct is angulation is like this, oblique, or you can do parallel to pancreas. So this is the planning for the 3D MRCP. Always you should run the 3D sequence first of all, after getting this 2D Fiesta. Now after planning this 3D sequence, you have to plan axial fat set T2 and coronal fat set T2. You have to plan axials after getting a 3D image of MRCP. So now I will show you coronal fat set T2 planning. Double click on the coronal. You have to plan coronal on axials only. For MRCP, take a minimum slice thickness. Here I am taking slice thickness of 4 and spacing is 0. Always take minimum slice thickness, because sometimes there is a small tiny calculus in the CBD, sometimes in a cystic duct or sometimes in a pancreatic duct. So to diagnose the tiny lesions, you have to take a minimum slice thickness with 0 spacing. Okay, so this is very simple. Again, you have to first of all set the FOV on the coronals. Now you have to plan on the axials. Same, you have to cover gallbladder, pancreas and CBD. Again for the coronal, same angulation you have to do parallel to tail of the pancreas. So this is also plan for the coronal fat set T2 sequence. Okay. Here I am reducing the time because this is just for a demo purpose. Please bear with the images of the scan. So this is the plan for the coronal fat set T2. Same as you have done for the 3D. Enter the shim. Overnight fasting is very important for better scan. Now I will show you the planning for axial fat set T2 after getting a 3D sequence. How much area you have to cover, I will show you on that. Now double click on axials. You have to plan axials on coronal. Click on this coronal sequence. I am having the coronal Fiesta over here. I will enter in coronal box. Close the shim. Again for axials, you have to cover gallbladder, CBD with a minimum slice thickness and spacing. You can see I am taking 5 mm thickness. You can take minimum thickness 4, minimum thickness 3 also. So here is the 3D of the MRCP. this patient has not came with a fasting, so therefore the images are showing the artifacts of stomach over here. So you can check over here. Here is the CBD, here is the gallbladder. CBD is draining over here. And this is pancreatic duct. This is pancreatic duct. Okay. Now afterwards you have to post process for a better view. Now I will enter this 3D in the coronal box to assume the better planning. Now you can see over here, here is the CBD, here is the gallbladder. This much area you have to cover. Automatic the pancreatic duct is going like this, so you have to cover this much area. So here is the planning. You have to take 3-4 slices extra. Simply you have to cover CBD, gallbladder, pancreatic duct, and lower end of CBD is very much important. Sometimes there is a tiny stone in a lower end of CBD. Okay, you have to set a FOV on the axials and plan over here. There is no need to angulate for the axial images. You have to scan in a true axial plane. Here I have taken 4 mm thickness, 0 spacing again. So this is the plan for axial FST2. Simply click on the axial FST2, paste, open this sequence, remove fat from the chemical set and rename this sequence as a axial T2. This is simple axial T2. This is axial T2 fat set. This is coronal T2 fat set. You have to take one dual echo also, and in the end you have to add one sequence diffusion if you want. I am taking this sequence from the lever. Diffusion, you have to double click, open, simply plan and cover whole of the lever with a minimum slice thickness. Okay, this is the planning for the axial DWI. Set your FOV on the axial. This is axial without fat set T2. You can update respiratory to reduce the time. Okay, if the resp is like 30, you can update from here and reduce the time. So you can see this is the coronal FST2. There is no stone in a CBD as well as in a gallbladder as well as in a cystic duct. Pancreatic duct is very thin. For pancreatic duct you have to check the 3D sequence over here. Some patients are having division, but here it is normal. So this is the protocol for MRCP. First of all, you have to take treatment localizer. Then you have to run 2 Fiesta sequence axial and coronal for better planning. Then you have to plan 3D sequence. Then after you have to plan coronal, T2, then axials, then DW, and lastly you have to take dual echo to check the sludge in a gallbladder. Double click, open. This is breath hold sequence. Never take dual echo without breath holding because it will give a lots of artifacts. Dual echo also. Click on this, enter the coronal T2. Dual echo is taken mainly for gallbladder. So this is the Planning for dual echo 19 seconds. It is breath hold sequence. I will take at the end of the scan. So you can see this is axial FST2. I will show you in a zoom image. This is axial FST2. This is gallbladder. This is cystic duct. This is CBD. Here CBD is draining over here. यहाँ पे ड्रेन हो गए. ये tiny है CBD है. यहाँ if there is some stone, it will be in a black in color. Okay. There is no stone in gallbladder as well as in CBD. Diffusion sequence is going on. Diffusion is taken just to rule out if there is some lesion in a liver. Sometimes there is a cholangiocarcinoma. You can see this tiny lesion in the liver, right on a diffusion, maybe some cyst or like that. Now this is last sequence. You have to do prep scan. Click on the prep. Before that, give instruction to patient. Now you can see this is prep scan over here. Give instruction to the patient to hold the breath whenever you are advising. Now give instruction to the patient to hold the breath. Hold your breath properly. सांस रोको, सांस रोको. Now you can see it will take 16 seconds. And here you can check the patient is holding a breath properly or not. Here the patient is holding his breath. Now ask the patient to take breath. सांस ले लो. Take your breath properly now. Now you can check over here. Now patient again started taking his breath. Okay. So this is how you have to do MRCP on Brevo MR355 1.5 Tesla G. Note down the protocol over here. Axial Fiesta for localizing, planning, then 3D sequence, coronal T2FS, axial T2FS, axial T2, axial DWI and axial dual echo. Hope this video will be informative for you. Please like, share and subscribe my channel and press bell icon for more updates. Thanks for watching.